Greetings. This is Simple Fat Fighting and Fit Getting with NLP. Simple Fat Fighting and Fit Getting with NLP. Now, the wording sounds a little funky, but I write a lot of things that are intuitive to me, that just feel good, rolling off the tongue. So fat fighting should be a little bit obvious, right? A lot of people talk about reducing body fat, and fit getting, or getting fit, right? Those are related things, but not exactly the same. And then there's NLP, and I am not talking mainly about, at least, about natural language processing, which is used in artificial intelligence. I am talking about neuro-linguistic programming. And for the purposes of this talk, we'll just simply call neuro-linguistic programming either NLP or self-talk, because that's basically the way that we're going to be talking or discussing NLP in this talk. In this talk called Simple Fat Fighting and Fit Getting with NLP. So there's a very specific reason that is related to NLP, or the self-talk, which guided the title, at least the first part of it, that's Simple Fat Fighting. And it's for a very, very specific reason that I use the term fat fighting and not some other term. So let's dig into this simple fat fighting and fit getting with NLP. Now, remember NLP, we'll use that abbreviation. It stands for neuro-linguistic programming. But again, for the purposes of this talk, I will refer to NLP, or I will refer to neuro-linguistic programming as NLP or self-talk. Self-talk. That's what self-talk is. It's neuro, right? The nerves, the neurons, the brain, linguistic, language, and programming. So this is about how your self-talk programs you. Simple as that, right? So now I will begin this talk and this sharing of this information with a question, or a series of questions. And many of you listening may or may not catch on to what I'm alluding to as I sit outside of the cafe once again. Welcome, Crystal Parry, John Deasy, Dr. Rao, Michael Jeffries, and Amy. We're talking about simple fat fighting and fit getting with NLP, simple self-talk. So here are the series of questions I'm going to ask you. And ask yourself these questions. And then, if you like, you can have a little discussion with me about it, if you like. So here are the questions. Here are the questions. Number one, and these are in no particular order, and I may even forget counting, because I don't even really have a set amount of questions that I'm going to ask, because it doesn't really matter. All right? So ask yourself the question. Here's a simple one. Most people will be able to answer this. So if you have a pocket full of money and you're walking down the street and you drop that money somewhere on the street unknowingly, wouldn't you want to go back and find that money? Right? If you lost the money, you'd want to find it. Well, let's ramp up this series of questions here real quick. Let's go from 0 to 1,000 real quick. What if you're a family member, your significant other, a child, an elderly family member, someone who is vulnerable. What if they got lost? You know, you were out somewhere at a festival or something and you lost holding their hand and couldn't find them. They got lost. Wouldn't you want to find them? What if you lost your wedding band or some other symbol of your love to your significant other? What if you lost the keys to your house or your car? What if you lost, and so on and so forth? Some valuable or precious thing. If you lost it, most likely, for the most part, most of us would want to get it back. We would search for it. We would look for it. We would long for it. We would pine for it. We would whine about it. We might complain about it. We might even cry. We'd be upset. It might throw off our whole day if we lost something in the beginning of the day or late in the night before. And we lose something. And we always want to find it and get it back. And that is a very important thing to remember. When we lose things, we are set up to want to retrieve it again, to return it to us, to get it back. Almost anything you lose, right? If you lost your job, if you lose some money, you lose a ring, you lose a pet, a child, a friend, you know, loss. Let's think about really deep loss. Losing a loved one, right? Who's gone, who's died, right? I know that type of loss very, very personally. And a lot of people do. And we often think of those that we've lost, who we love, we continue to love, and we think about them, and we wonder what it would be like to have them back. And we experience that more often, the pain, more often than we would like. But that pain comes from the loss part, So some of you may have caught on to what I'm getting at here with this NLP, this neuro-linguistic programming, or this self-talk, right? The self-talk. So, and this is part of the simple fat fighting and fit getting with NLP. So let me now cut to the chase now that I've asked those questions, like what would you want to do if you lost these certain things? I'm sure almost everyone who hears these questions about these things they've lost, you'd want to get it back. I mean, you'd want to get if you lost a pen, you know, in your office, or a paperclip, or a lighter, or you know, simple things, little things, they're not expensive. You have something that you're using that's important to you. It doesn't even have to be something you love. When we lose things, we want to get them back. And this is the simple fat fighting and fit getting neuro-linguistic programming, or self-talk. And a lot of people come up with this problem, come across this issue with self-talk and never catch it. Welcome, Nancy, Villatoro, Tina Mason, and Laura Schmidt. Todd Martin, welcome. And Cohen Bro Opinion Show with the Doc. Welcome. So here's the big reveal, everybody. What is one of the main things, that's another question, what's one of the main things people say when they make fitness, what do you call them, resolutions, right? Like people in the beginning of the year, what do people say about their body type and body composition? Most of the time when people are when they're talking about fat, or they're talking about weight, right? What's the term people use? If you've been listening, you might be savvy about this and understand what the question, what the answer is to that question. What do you normally say? And most people, because it's the term that goes around that people just automatically say, just like when someone sneezes, most people say bless you, but that's a conditioning. And it doesn't mean that the conditioning is polite or correct or wrong. It just means that it's normal, which normal is most clearly translated as statistically most frequent. And just because something is statistically most frequent does not mean that it's healthy or okay, or it doesn't mean that it's unhealthy either, right? But something that's statistically most frequent, especially in the United States right now, and it's spreading to many parts of the world, is that people are overweight by 60 to 70% in the United States. And is that healthy? Not for everyone. Some people can carry it very well, and a lot of people's body composition is different. And I know, for example, that I didn't feel good when I was 221 pounds 3 months ago. I'm now down to 187. I'm not going to say the rest of the line that weight reminds me of just yet. But I'm 187 pounds now, down from 221. That's 34 pounds, something like that. But I did it very simply, but mostly by I don't ever say a certain thing to myself. And that is what most people say to themselves, which is, I resolve to lose 10 pounds. I resolve to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose body fat. I'm losing weight, right? So people say this all the time. Yes, right? Would you agree? Right? But would you agree, Crystal, John Beasy, Dr. Rao, Michael Jeffries, Amy, Nancy, Tina, Laura, Todd, Cohen Bro, Esther? Don't people normally say that? Would if you're wanting to fight fat and get fit and change your body composition, if you're not satisfied with it, don't you usually say, I want to lose weight, or I'm going to lose weight, or I plan to lose weight, or something like that, that has the word loss, lose in it? Am I wrong? I don't think so. This is what I hear all the time from everybody. Now here's a couple things before I continue to go into this. Why do I know anything about fighting fat and getting fit? Or what would I know about simple fat fighting and fit getting with NLP? So now NLP, remember, it's neuro-linguistic programming. And neuro-linguistic programming is a sub-discipline of hypnosis. And I have a degree, a professional degree in clinical hypnosis from America's first nationally accredited college of hypnotherapy, the Hypnosis Motivation Institute in Tarzana, California. And I earned that degree in February of 2006 and have been practicing clinical hypnosis ever since then in various different ways, in hypnoanalysis and in one-on-one clinical hypnosis, as well as group guided meditations and making various recordings. And even longer than that, because I began working in big box gyms in 2004, but was training people on intramural fields, for example, at the University of Miami, independently, not working for the school, since 1998. And been practicing martial arts much longer than that. So those are parts of my experience qualifications. And I also have certifications in fitness training that I began since way back then, since 2004. No, actually 1999 was the first time I got actually a certification. Anyway, so I've got over 20 years of experience, and not only with neuro-linguistic programming, as I said, a sub-discipline of hypnosis, but also as a fitness trainer and martial arts self-defense instructor. All right, so now we've got that little part out of the way, why is it so important for people to change the way that they talk to themselves? Why should people change self-talk? Such a simple thing when we talk about altering our body composition and getting more fit or fighting fat. Most of us say, I want to lose weight. I'm going to lose. Remember, as with most things, when we are, that we lose, as I was asking the questions before, what would you do if you lost your cat or lost a diamond ring or lost $1,000 or lost whatever it is? You know, many things, both very heartbreaking and things that are really simple, from losing a pen to losing a loved one. Right? We always want that back. See, the word loss, the word lose, is intimately, deeply, almost ancient in its connection to wanting to retrieve or recover things or get something back. So when we talk to ourselves and we say, I want to lose weight, you're setting yourself up, for most people, you're setting yourself up for a difficult uphill battle because you're fighting something that is deeply ingrained in your subconscious mind. Anytime we use the word lose, it's in relation to something that we want. So why do we say that when we want to alter our body composition? Why do we not say, I want to manage my weight? I want to control my weight. I want to sculpt my body. I want to become more fit. I want to be thin and muscular. I want to be healthy. But what is all this talk about lose weight? We don't even think about it, right? Just like I said earlier, when, for example, when someone, you say, bless you, right away, without even thinking about it, without even knowing the history of where that comes from or why. It's just something that's passed on to many people, and it's conditioning. It has nothing to do with being polite. It's just statistically most frequent. You don't even think about it. You may disagree with me. You may say, oh, well, bless you, let me give you a person a blessing, and it's an opportunity. Whatever. When I was living in Asia for 4.5 years, almost no one says that, especially in China, for example. There's no bless you. Somebody sneezes. Nobody says anything at all, because it's a conditioning. It's not like it's a human construct. It's made up. It's a cultural norm. There's really it's nonsensical. How does that help somebody by you saying bless you when they sneeze? It's a knee-jerk reaction, right? Disagree if you like. I'm making a point here about we're just saying things like I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to lose fat, I'm going to lose. And everything that you lose, you want to get it back. So you've got to change your language about that, because subconsciously, you say, I'm going to lose weight, and then you lose weight. And then what is your subconscious mind saying? I lost fat. I must recover it. I must get it back. But that's not the plan. You use the word lose. Get it out of your vocabulary when it comes to altering your body composition, which instead of saying lose, because like you lose a diamond ring, you lose money, you lose your car, you lose your job, you lose a child. All the stuff with loss is intimately, deeply rooted into things that we always want to get back. So am I clear about that now? You get it. I've said this over and over again, so you should be clear on that now, where I'm going with this. And so the idea is to simply stop saying that. And now the thing is that nature abhors a vacuum, right? I'm sure you've heard that before. And all that means is hate. Because nature is hateful against vacuums, right? It doesn't like to leave empty space. So you don't just stop saying weight loss, I want to lose weight, I want to lose fat. You don't just stop that. You replace. The replacement is a very powerful skill that we use as clinical hypnotists, as we use as a therapist that use hypnosis, that as therapists or as healers that use subconscious mind techniques, a behavioral science, by the way, because all of your behavior is controlled subconsciously for the most part. I mean, we can will our way through a lot of things, which is the point that I was making about using the words weight loss, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to lose fat, and all of this, because what you do is you set yourself up to fight. Your willpower is constantly fighting against the idea that you want to get back and retrieve this fat, this weight that you lost. Because that's exactly what happens when you use a term, a word that has a long, deep connection to always wanting something back. You don't lose money and then say, wow, man, I'm so glad I lost that money. You don't lose something valuable like a friendship or a loved one or something that you really cherish. You don't lose a notebook that you have your personal poems or journal inside of it and just be, yeah, F that, I don't want it anymore. I mean, sometimes you can. I've done it a lot when I've lost things. And something is very interesting about dismissing things that we lost and saying, yeah, I'm going to let that go. I've had several occasions where things I thought were completely lost and I recovered them again. But maybe I'll tell those stories at another talk. But right now, I want to make sure that everybody's clear and understanding how deeply connected the words loss and lose are to things that we want to get back. I mean, if you disagree with me, give me a call. But I'm pretty sure that you can understand the logic of where I'm coming from and how, from a hypnoanalytic perspective, using hypnoanalysis and being a fitness trainer and having the perspective of not only being a martial artist but a fitness trainer as well as a clinical hypnotist with training in behavioral science, just how important it is to manage your subconscious mind, your self-talk, right? Known as NLP, as we're calling it here, or neuro-linguistic programming. It's very important to manage these things. So again, it's very simple, and I don't have to really go on any more about this right now, except just to show you once again the main point here, that we not just cease to use the terms I'm going to lose weight or lose fat. We cut out lose and loss when it comes to something that we really don't want anymore. Because again, let's just understand and emphasize that things that we want, if it's not around us anymore, if it falls out of our pocket or falls out of our life somehow, those are things that we want back. But I'm not so sure that people want to be unhealthy again or to feel fat and overweight again, right? You don't make the decision to go to the gym or change your diet or your intake or go exercise or do whatever it is that you're doing and say, I'm losing fat, I'm losing weight, just to get it back again. That's not the point why people do that, right? You would rather these healthier conditions and states of being to be more permanent, right? Or to become a lifestyle. And so one of the ways to ensuring this healthier lifestyle is to quit saying things like lose when it comes to something like fat that you don't really want, or unhealthy fat, or unhealthy weight of any kind, or unhealthy habits. It's not as challenging, for example, when people want to stop smoking. People say quit, but quit is also intimately connected to someone who can't follow through. And it's not, but I don't want to get into those semantics right now. That's actually not that important. But one that is deeply connected is this connection to the word loss. So very simply, I'm just going to kind of go over some things that we can say instead, right? So welcome Sharon, Joshua Blattman, Nancy, Energy Lady, Dr. Robert James Goodman, and Cecilia Grace. Good to see some of you back again. And so very simply, let's take a moment of sirens. If you guys can hear that. I don't know if you guys remember, if anybody was listening yesterday, whenever I hear sirens, I say I'm going to take a moment of sirens instead of, I think I'm clever, but I'm really not. Who was laughing about that? All right. Anyway, so, yes, so some alternatives. So you want to say almost anything except I'm going to lose weight. You say, I'm going to manage my weight. I'm going to control my weight, or I am controlling my weight, or I'm gradually controlling my weight, or I'm incrementally changing my weight. You can use whatever words you want, just not lose. I'm not losing weight. Because if I'm losing weight, I'm subconsciously searching to get it back. So I'm reducing my body weight, right? So we could say, let's choose 3 words, right? I'm controlling my body weight, I'm managing my body weight, or I'm reducing my body weight, right? I'm controlling my fat, I'm reducing my body fat, I'm managing my body fat, right? You can use those terms instead. So those are just some alternatives. And you could use any other qualifiers and mix it in there. Like if you don't feel like it's authentic to say I am right now, you can simply say I'm incrementally reducing my body weight. I'm incrementally managing my body weight. I'm incrementally controlling. Because I also believe that incremental change is the key. By the way, on my website, hypnoathletics.com, right? Exercising your mind, right? Hypnoathletics, exercising your mind. On that site, I actually have a program called Switch, where there's a series of hypnosis guided meditations that you can listen to. And Switch stands for Second Wave Incremental Thought Change Hypnosis. I love acronyms, and I make up my own ones that are silly or even profound so that I can remember them. They're mnemonic devices for me, and they're fun, and they help me remember stuff. So You'll find that those are very helpful too, just like how people remember mantras, right? And different prayers and things that people say to get themselves focused on particular ideas. So again, we can use these three things: reduce, control, and manage in mantras. So we could say, I control my body weight. I manage my body weight. I reduce my body weight. And you can use the words I control, I manage, I reduce my body fat. Or I am controlling, or I am reducing, or I am. So you got it? So those are the things that you use to replace. And remember, why are we replacing instead of just stop saying that? That's because we want to replace. Nature doesn't like the vacuum. If you just stop something, you're going to be craving something else or be steered to fill that emptiness with something else. Some people stop smoking, they start eating more food. Some people stop eating food, they start smoking or drinking too much coffee or whatever it is, right? So don't just stop. Don't just quit. Replace with another phrase, with another saying, and practice it. And you know what? And you're going to see some people freak out. Here's one way to practice it, right? When I was so relieved when I was living in Asia, for the time that I was there, in the many different countries that I went there, that hardly anybody, unless there were other expats or other foreigners, right? No one said bless you when people sneeze. It's not a thing. So it's not necessary. It's trained. Just like how so many other things that are learned behaviors. So learn how to train your brain with neuro-linguistic programming to control, to manage, and reduce your body weight or fat. All right, now, so I'm going to sign off in just a little bit here because that's all we need to know, right? But if anybody wants to pop in and say hello or ask a question or ask them something more specific, you can. You can also reach out to me off of the app. I'll probably be doing a similar talk or the same one on Twitter Spaces at some point in time, maybe today, and definitely doing one on the Call-In app a little bit later. I actually did a talk like this with a different name. I can't remember what it was on Call-In maybe a month ago. And so you can reference that. I'll put some links, but they're all available as well as the Switch program. But you can check out, I think the easiest way you can reach out to me through either HakeemAlexander.com or exercisingyourmind.com. You can ask any questions and ask for more advice, or if you want some more coaching on this idea about changing the way that you refer to your fitness journey. All right, so that's it about simple fat fighting and fit getting with NLP. Remember, NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, or simply self-talk. All right, you guys have a wonderful fat fighting and fit getting rest of your day, evening, and week, and I will catch you on the next wave. Stay well.